What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking it out. So a little update on the STI. So I got about 230 miles now, I think, on the motor. It's been doing awesome. I went out, broke it in for about 50 miles, pretty hard. Came back, changed the oil, and then I just drove around for a couple days like normal. It doesn't seem like there's any leaks anywhere. It's not burning anything. The coolant levels look good. Everything looks good. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy about it. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun to drive. It's pretty crazy how different the STI feels than the WRX does. Just the overall feel of the car is a lot different. I would never have expected it to be such a different car, but I mean, the suspension is pretty stiff on the STI with the BC Racing coilovers and the different end links and sway bar bushings and all of that stuff. The strut tower bar I have in the front seemed to add a little bit of stiffness. Sometimes when I pull into parking lots at an angle, one of the wheels will come off the ground for a second, so that's kind of funny. Anyways, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do today. I know I need to figure out this coolant tank. So down here, this little T right here was actually clogged. So the coolant had nowhere to go for the overflow, so a little bit started coming out of the radiator cap, but I pretty much found that right away. I unclogged that, but our coolant tank here is completely sealed. So I think what I want to do is drill a hole through here, and then just put in like a little hose. So something like this. I'll just take this hose and we'll just go right down in the top, just a little bit, not down into the coolant or anything, just a little, so it has somewhere to vent. Because it's not supposed to be sealed, because if it's sealed, then the water cannot get in there. The coolant cannot overflow because there's nowhere for that extra air to go. So I need to do that. I'm probably just gonna check for some leaks and stuff, and also we're pretty dirty. So we might have to hit the car wash again. It kind of sucks in the wintertime up here. It just gets so muddy and so gross out that, I mean, you can't keep your car clean. You pretty much have to wash it every couple days. So I've been running the same tune that was on the car previously. The tune was for a 20G turbo, which the flow chart was really close to being the same as this FP green. So that was kind of the reasoning behind my friend buying the turbo for the car originally, is he was hoping he wouldn't have to get it retuned. I do think that a new tune will run better than this one does, but I'm not getting any knock. It's been running great. It starts up fine. It idles good. I can drive around. My air to fuel ratios are good. In boost, it's good. It's all about 11.5. Which is, you know, exactly where I want it to be. But it has no boost control, so the wastegate maps are just zeroed out right now. The wastegate spring is supposed to be 1 bar, which would be about 14.7 psi, and I'm getting about 13. If I really push it, which I haven't really done too much, I haven't even given this thing full throttle, I don't think, and it still feels pretty crazy fast. So I think with the tune and about 20 pounds of boost, it's probably going to be pretty insane. I've already paid for a tune. I'm going to see how that works out. I went with IA Tuning. I believe the tuner's name is Stephen Clark, and we're going to try an e-tune out with open source. I feel better about an open source tune over an access port tune, because with an access port tune, it's going to be locked to the tuner, so there's no adjustments that I can actually make myself, which if I'm paying for it, I want to be able, I want it to be my tune. I want to be able to adjust things as necessary. If I go and I want to delete something off the car that requires the codes to be deleted, I want to be able to go into the computer and do it myself and not have to contact my tuner, tell him what's going on, have him do it, send a new map, all that stuff. So I think that this will be a lot better, and it'll be a lot better learning experience. I kind of have a pretty good idea of how tuning works, but I've never really dealt with these motors. I mean, this right here, this is my first Subaru, and I've only had that car about 9 months. Before that, I'd never even dealt with one before. I'd never even been under the hood of one. So I think I've made quite a bit of progress since I bought that car. Hopefully today, later today, I get my first map and we can start getting that stuff figured out. So I kind of want to just get out, go for a drive, get some more miles on the car. You know, before we start actually tuning the car. I don't want to try pushing it too hard when there's only a couple hundred miles on it. I think I'd be more comfortable maybe 500 miles on the car. But I mean, I would say right now she's pretty well broken. I don't see why not. The only thing that needed to be broken were the rings. The heads were, you know, they were rebuilt, but it was still all the stock parts. Everything else we reused, so really the rings were the only thing, and your rings pretty much get seated as soon as, you know, within the first 5 or 10 minutes, they're pretty much all the way seated. So, and then the rest of it is just, you know, you're driving, and I just, as you can see probably in the last couple videos of me driving, that I was not taking it very easy, and you know, hopefully those first 50 miles was like running it for 500. I don't know. This is all a little experiment, I guess. So we're gonna see how all that works. Anyways, let's get this hole drilled and get this tube in there, and then maybe I can think of a couple other things to do. I'd like to wash it, vacuum it, all that stuff. I'm gonna order some OEM STI floor mats, and I need to get, I think I want to get an oil pressure, oil temp, and water temperature gauge, so I don't have to sit there and stare at my computer all the time to figure out what everything's at. I did order a turbo blanket because my air intake temperatures, they do get pretty high when I'm sitting in traffic, because I mean, the filter's right here, the turbo's right there. It's pretty close. So I'm gonna put the turbo blanket on here, hopefully tomorrow, and then maybe we'll try to build a heat shield that's gonna come off of the strut tower here and kind of come down, maybe, you know, down into here somewhere. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's get this coolant reservoir lid thingy done. All right, here's the plan. I measured this, and it comes out to 31 hundredths, and this bit comes out to 30. So I figure I'll just throw this drill bit on there and drill a hole in here, right down in the middle. There's even a little groove in there, so we're just gonna hit that with the drill, and hopefully that will work out for us. Let's just get this thing squeezed in there a little bit. There we go. Bam, just like that. Well, that was pretty simple. Here we go. So we got our tube, we got our hole in there, in our tube. So let's just throw it on here. All right, go like that. Get that little guy in there just a little bit. Now you can breathe. Probably gonna go down here somewhere. Hopefully this thing isn't gonna like pinch off or hit the hood or anything. I could always thread this hole and put a 90-degree on there, which is probably what I'll end up doing. The fitment on these intercooler pipes is crazy. Look how close that bolt is right there. to the intercooler piping. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna cut this hose a little bit and get her tucked away. And here's what it looks like now. So I just went here, routed it down there, down kind of into the fender, so that way if it does fill up for some reason and starts leaking out, I'll know that that's where it's coming from, because it will be coming out the bottom of the fender. So I have about 500 miles on the motor now. I just changed the oil for the third time. So we should be good to go for a couple thousand miles, and then I'll change it one more time. And then at about 3,500, then I'll probably go to full synthetic. I started the tuning process with IA tuning. The first map he sent over ran awesome. Starts up, idles good, drives good, but I cannot go into boost. If I try to go into boost, it starts knocking right away. So hopefully I get a new map today that will address that issue so we can continue the tuning process. But yeah, so anyways, not really too much to do today. I just want to get this turbo blanket here on the car. The underhood temps are, they're not bad when I'm driving at all, but as soon as you stop for any period of time, it heats up like crazy. I'm gonna try this turbo blanket first, and then I will make a template for a heat shield and get that thing made. Other than that, the car has been doing good. It's not leaking any oil, no coolant, no nothing. I don't really know about this oil pump I have on here. My oil pressure gauge is kind of a piece of crap. I'm gonna go ahead and order a new one. I'm more concerned just with the quality because it is an aftermarket oil pump. I don't know. I would rather stick with an OEM Subaru pump, and the only one I had here was a 12 millimeter pump, and it's just too much for this motor. It's too big. So I think I'm going to order a new 11 millimeter OEM Subaru oil pump. Also, I think I'll go and order a new oil pressure gauge and some floor mats, some OEM STI floor mats. I also should be picking up the stock blue carpet that comes in here. It's in really good condition. The carpet in here, it was swapped out with some, I don't know, some black carpet, maybe from a WRX or something. It's pretty tore up. So I want to replace that carpet and also the trunk carpet and the cardboard that goes in the trunk and a couple other little things. I just want to try to get it back to the factory as possible, besides the engine and suspension, of course. So let's go ahead and start with this turbo blanket, and maybe I can find some other stuff to do today. All right, so here's our turbo blanket. Hopefully it should fit. It's for a T28 and GT30, GT35 turbos. Came with these little spring things. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those. If they're going to fit, I might just end up using some wire. And came with some gloves so we don't get the fiberglass on us. So let's see what we got to do over here. Really, it shouldn't be that difficult. I think I just need to remove this intercooler pipe and this hose, and we should probably have access to it. Pretty easy. Hopefully I can get my hands down in there and underneath the turbo right there. So, all right, let's get started with that. All right, so I'll just take this AOS hose off here. I'm probably just gonna loosen this up, and then I gotta get over there, get the blow-off valve hose off there, get this line off down here. I really should go pick up some more T-bolt clamps because I have 3 right here that are just regular clamps, and I don't know if that's gonna handle all the pressure. That's kind of why I left them up here. That way they'd be easy to get to up here on the top. Hopefully we can get up underneath here. It just kind of looks like it's going to be a pain. So all these kits, they always come with these springs. I haven't really read too many people having very good luck with them. But yeah, we'll probably need to use some wire, but we'll see. Let's see if this thing even fits down here. Well, it seems like it's gonna fit actually pretty good. All right, we're gonna try to take some of this wire and see what we can do. All right, here's what I got. I got this little knot here. This will slide onto that, and then we'll bring it underneath the turbo to here, and then we can twist it on that side. But first, need to get it through there, up underneath here. All right, there's that. Connect it on there, and then we can pull it down. So right there is the other little clip, so we just got to connect this wire to it like that and make like a little knot, and then the other side should be a lot easier. We might actually be able to use the spring on this other side. Probably should have made this loop before I got it in here so that it would just slide on there. So I actually got the spring on the back side. Get this thing positioned on there. It actually fits pretty good, as long as this stuff doesn't vibrate while we're driving. All right, well, that was fairly simple. I think the hardest part is getting it underneath right here, from that to that. I don't see how you could do that with the springs. I mean, if it wasn't on the car, it would be probably pretty easy if the motor was on an engine stand, but it is not. And I was actually able to get the spring on the back side down here underneath the downpipe. So, I mean, it's on there pretty good. It covers up the entire side, so I'm sure it can't hurt anything to have it on there. It seemed to fit pretty good on this, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get this piping back on there. All right, it is all back together. It doesn't look too bad down there. Hopefully that helps with the heat. Definitely make sure you wear gloves and probably a sweatshirt, because my arm, I pulled my sleeves up and my arm itches really bad right now because there's a lot of fiberglass and that stuff. So just make sure you wear gloves. Try not to breathe it in, I guess. All right, guys, so the tuner just emailed me our next map. So I figure I'd show you guys how I flash these tunes on real quick. All right, guys, hopefully there's enough light in here. We have our Tactrix port with cable here. So that's just gonna plug into the OBD2 under the steering wheel, and then this wire right here will run to the laptop. Got our laptop over here. Plug our cable in. Then we also have our other cable for logging our wideband. So that's gonna need to go on there also. All right. Got those on there. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. We'll just open up ECU flash here. Go up here, open our map. And then right up here at the top it says write currently loaded ROM. We click that. Then you need to connect the green connectors under the dash. I just made a little switch, so I don't have to do that crap. So I just hit that switch right there. And then you got to be kind of quick. You just turn your ignition on. As soon as you turn it on, you're going to come over here and you're going to press OK on the computer. And there we go. You hear the fans kick on and a bunch of other stuff, and then it'll just go through and flash this. And just like that, our new tune's flashed on there. So we click OK. Turn the car off. All right, so we closed out of our program there. We're gonna turn that on for a couple seconds. And then I like to use the ROM Raider touchscreen logger thingy here. This will pop up, and then I already have all of our parameters set that they want us to log. So then we can start the car, let the car warm up, go for a little drive. Then we will log for a couple minutes of just normal driving, and then he wants us to do just a short wide open throttle pull from 2500 RPM to just 4500 RPMs, and then I will send him that log. So we'll get the car started and warmed up, and I'll put the GoPro on and we will go for a short drive. So I figured I would give you guys a quick update. So I do have over 500 miles on the motor now, so I feel that it's pretty well broken in, so I'm not too worried about doing these tests, these wide open throttle tests. Also, I did go ahead and I ordered me a new oil pressure gauge. I ordered OEM STI floor mats, new power steering rack bushings, and also the spring seats for the coilovers. It's a little insert that goes on top of the collar and underneath the spring. We got that also. And then I ordered a new 11mm OEM Subaru oil pump. Not that there's anything wrong with this one, but the oil pressure is one thing that's important. So I just want to make sure that I have good parts in there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there next week. We'll do a coolant flush and all that at the same time, just to make sure we can keep this thing running good. All right, well, let's go ahead and go for our drive. I'm always surprised at how good these guys are with tuning cars. I mean, the first map he sent me, the car started right up, idled fine, drove good, everything was perfectly fine. The only issue we had was the engine load. The calculation for the engine load is off because of the bigger intake. So when I would start to go into boost, it was actually, there was more load on the motor than he had in the maps, I guess. So the timing was thrown off, and it would start knocking. And I'd never heard knock before yesterday, really. So it was kind of a crazy sound. So let's hope that we don't have any more of that today. I'm just gonna drive around for just a little while, and then I'll do a driving log, just a couple minutes worth, and then I'll go do the short wide open throttle log. Nothing crazy. I'll probably just get on the highway. I don't even think I'll have to go over 60 to do it. So alright, we're gonna start our driving log. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit start log file, and then we'll just drive around for a couple minutes in a kind of a normal fashion. I did notice that our temperatures at idle have went way down for the intake, so I think that heat blanket, or that turbo blanket, is definitely doing something. So that's good. think we're probably good with this one. Hit stop. And then we need to go find somewhere to do our little wide open throttle one. Kind of nervous about it because I don't really like hearing my engine knock. So, I do it, so. So we got that. I will send him the log, and I'm gonna just go ahead and drive around a little bit and then go home. All right, guys. So I just emailed them, and they emailed me pretty much right back with a new map. So we will go ahead and load this one on there and go do another little poll. Okay, here's why I like this laptop, because I can just flip her on over. Boom, and there we go. All right, I'm gonna go let the car warm up a little bit since I just ran in the store, and then we will do this. All right, guys, this time it's just 2,500 to 4,000 RPMs, so. To 4,000. Well, guys, we made it home. It seems like each one of these maps is getting a little better. Hopefully we get this knock situation figured out so we can start turning up the boost and see what this thing can really do. I know this video is going to run a little long. Thanks to you guys that stuck it out and made it to the end. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below on maybe what kind of videos you guys would like to see in the future and stuff. I got a lot of free time, so I got no problem going out and recording some driving or whatever it is. Thanks for watching.